The National Biosafety Authority is a state corporation mandated to ensure safety to human and animal health and provide adequate protection of the environment from harmful effects that may result from GMOs. Speaking to journalists during a media engagement at Kalro Kiboko Center, where the confined field trials of the GM maize have been taking place, Principal Biosafety Officer Eric Correll said that with the recent development of lifting of the ban, the developers of the technology, Kalro, will now go to the Kenya Plant and Health Inspectorate Services (KEPHIS) for the variety registration to approve seed bulking, which will now be distributed to farmers to cultivate.
As National Biosafety Authority, we still have a role. It does not end there because we are required to do what we call post-release or post-commercialization monitoring. And this we will do it to just check if there is any adverse effect as a result of cultivation of this GMO. This will be done for a period of 20 years, and after that then the law does not require us to do the monitoring again, so it will be deregulated.
The lifting of the ban on GM maize has for the last 1 week brought about debate, despite President William Ruto touting GMOs as a solution to the current food crisis. Dr. Martin Mwirigi, who is the acting institute director at Kalro's Biotechnology Research Institute, has urged Kenyans not to be swayed or misled through myths and misinformation about GMOs. Dr. Mwirigi said that thorough research has gone into the development of the BT maize that has just been released.
The technology is currently being used all over the world. Actually, there is no continent that is currently not utilizing. We have over 70 countries that have approved either GM animal, GM crop, and taken to the market. And when you look at the countries that have actually adopted the technology, are the countries that are quite advanced in terms of doing even most of the assessment to do with food safety, to do with the environmental safety, and all that has been taken care of.
James Karanja, a maize breeder from Kalro who has been working towards the commercialization of transgenic, drought-tolerant and insect-protected maize, Teller, says that the technology being brought to farmers will produce maize varieties that are tolerant to insect pests, including the stem borer and the fall armyworm.
There are those ones, yes, like the Rocco varieties that are also there in the market. They are also being grown by our farmers' varieties. But I can tell you, you cannot get to a yield like that what you are seeing already here. So the yield is there, but again, other than the raw yield, also they are also attacked by the pest. And if you look at now, everybody is worried about the insect pest. And also, as you have also, it comes also again with other repercussions of using the chemicals and also exposing the health of the farmer and also the consumer because of that poor grain by eating that. So we are saying this is the way to go, and I can wish if all our farmers, through best agronomic practices, they can be able to get even half of what we are getting here. We are assured that this country will be able to produce more than 50 million bags, which is more than enough, and maybe start exporting, which is also good to our economy as a country.
He says farmers can overcome the high cost of inputs such as fertilizer and pesticides by using technologies such as GM maize that will enable farmers to stop using chemical sprays to avoid infestation by pests while improving yields.
BT maize is just a hybrid like the other hybrid. The only difference is that that other hybrid does not have that protection against the insect pest. But once you plant, you can save that seed and you can plant. It's going to germinate. But just like the other seed that farmers, they know very well, that once you plant that seed, the yield goes down. And that is why we always recommend and we advise our farmers. And that is why we have the agricultural extension and advisory officers.
Dr. Mwirigi says that for a country to develop, it is prudent to take up modern technology in order to enhance productivity and get value for money.
We are coming out with confidence that the technology we are giving out is safe, and the institution that we have put into place, the National Biosafety Authority and other institutions that they work with, are able to do an assessment of what the scientists present and actually certify and approve that whatever is going to the market is safe for human and feed used by our farmers.
We assure Kenyans that the BT maize is safe.
According to KALRO's Director General, Dr. Eliud Kiregel, around 500,000 acres will serve as demonstration plots come March next year, pending the full commercialization of BT maize by private companies.
The National Biosafety Authority has just approved this BT maize variety for national performance trials. And this right here is the last batch of the confined field trials.
Paul Thiongo, KTN Farmers TV.